Murder in the Mountains, the case of Kelsey Berreth. It was initially thought that the investigation into Kelsey Berreth's disappearance was nothing more than a peculiar case of a missing person. On the other hand, as time went on, it morphed into a horrifying story about murder, deception, and dishonesty. Kelsey Berreth was a devoted mother and flight teacher who was well known for her upbeat attitude and the love that she had for her daughter, Kaylee. She was also recognized for her strong devotion for her daughter. In addition to that, she was honored for the commitment she showed to her daughter, up until the sad Thanksgiving Day of 2018, when she disappeared completely without a trace. Her life seemed to be progressing in a manner that was in line with the expectations of individuals who were in her local neighborhood. However, she vanished without a trace. According to the film that was caught by the CCTV cameras, Kelsey was last seen with her child in a Safeway grocery store that was located in the vicinity. Kelsey's fiancé, Frazee, asserted that he had planned a meeting with her in order to discuss the swap of their daughter before she reportedly went out to conduct errands. This was prior to the fact that Kelsey was supposed to be heading out. He explained that he had done this in order to speed up the process of exchanging things, despite the fact that Kelsey did not return home when she was supposed to. Concerned relatives of her family, who resided in a different state, reported her missing on December 2, 2018. This was despite the fact that she had not returned home. During the course of their investigation into Kelsey's disappearance, the detectives found out that her mobile phone had communicated with a cell tower in the region of Gooding, Idaho, on November 25, 2018, 3 days after she had been seen for the last time. This information was obtained during the course of the inquiry. It was during the course of the investigation that was indicated before that this information was found. Due to the fact that this information was disclosed, suspicions were raised over whether Kelsey had left voluntarily or whether someone had moved her phone in order to deceive the authorities. Due to the discovery that was presented earlier, several questions were brought up. She sent a number of text messages from her phone after she disappeared, including one to her employer in which she reported that she would not be coming to work, and another to Frazee. Both of these communications were sent after she disappeared. In the immediate aftermath of her disappearance, both of these messages were sent. The confusion that was already prevalent was further worsened by these communications, which further contributed to the misunderstanding. Over the course of a relatively short amount of time, Frazee emerged as a prominent topic of conversation within the community. The relationship between Frazee and Kelsey was fraught with tension, and it was frequently characterized by disagreements and conflicts around the child. It was especially true with regard to their child that this was the case. Frazee was reported to have a personality that was described as being dominant, and the relationship between the two of them was described as being anything but perfect, according to the assertions that were made publicly by friends and members of the family. In the course of their investigation, the authorities discovered surveillance footage that contradicted Frazee's account of his travels on the day that Kelsey disappeared. This revelation was uncovered throughout the course of the investigation that was being conducted. A key breakthrough occurred when the authorities discovered a connection between Frazee and Crystal Lee Kenny, a nurse from Idaho, with whom he had previously had an intimate encounter. This connection was a significant breakthrough. It was one of the most important breakthroughs that ever occurred. The comprehensive inquiry led to Kenny's admission that he had been participating in the criminal activities in a sinister role. Kenny's admission came during the course of the investigation. The fact that Frazee had approached her for assistance in carrying out his plan to kill Kelsey was revealed by her, since she disclosed the information. It had been Frazee's request that she assist him in carrying out his plan. Kenny makes a confession that contains a number of horrible information, such as the fact that Frazee had murdered Kelsey by bludgeoning her to death with a baseball bat in their own home, while their daughter was in a room nearby. Kenny's confession also includes a number of other horrifying facts. In the confession, each and every one of these particulars is included. Kenny called Frazee after the murder and begged for his assistance in cleaning up the crime scene and disposing of the body. Frazee helped Kenny with both of these tasks. Frazee gave Kenny his word that he would assist him with both of these responsibilities. Kenny's evidence, which was produced in court, painted a horrifying picture of the crime and the extent to which Frazee went in order to cover his tracks. Kenny's testimonies were given in court. The court presented evidence that was provided by Kenny. She detailed the horrifying scene that she found when she arrived at Kelsey's townhouse, which consisted of blood spread all over the house. She said that the blood was everywhere. In accordance with the instructions that Frazee provided, she painstakingly cleaned the crime scene, by utilizing bleach in addition to a variety of other cleaning chemicals. After that, Kenny used Kelsey's mobile phone to travel back to Idaho in order to leave a trail of evidence by sending text from Kelsey's phone. This was done in order to build a chain of evidence. A deliberate attempt was made to mislead the authorities during the course of their investigation by carrying out this action. It would appear that Frazee's choice to conduct the murder was motivated by his desire to obtain full custody of their daughter and his perception of Kelsey as something that could go in the way of his goals. Both of these factors were the driving causes behind his action. It was his view that if he got rid of Kelsey, he would be able to avoid a custody struggle and get rid of something that he considered to be a nuisance. He believed that would be possible if he got rid of Kelsey. If he were to get rid of Kelsey, he was under the impression that he would be able to. Using the method that was cold and premeditated, which included requesting Kenny's assistance, he demonstrated his unyielding desire to carry his plan through to completion. He was determined to see it through to its conclusion. The trial of Patrick Frazee was a sensation in the media, with a substantial amount of coverage focusing on the horrifying aspects of the case. The trial was held in the United States. A great deal of excitement was aroused by the trial. Kenny's testimony, records from Kelsey's cell phone, and forensic evidence from Kelsey's apartment all provided support for the prosecution's compelling argument, which was presented by the prosecution. It was generally agreed that Kenny's testimony was the most convincing piece of evidence submitted. The argument that they presented was that Frazee had meticulously planned and carried out the murder, regardless of whether or not he felt any regret for his acts. This was according to the reasoning that they presented. The defense made a concentrated effort to discredit Kenny's testimony by portraying her as an untrustworthy witness who was driven by her own self-interest. This was being done in an effort to destroy Kenny's credibility. On the other hand, the evidence was so compelling that it was inconceivably difficult to disregard it. A jury reached a verdict on November 18, 2019, finding that Patrick Frazee was culpable for many crimes. These charges included first-degree murder, 3 counts of solicitation to commit murder, and tampering with a human corpse that had been identified as deceased. Each and every member of the jury arrived at the same verdict. They were unanimous. In addition to the 156 years that he had already been serving, he was given a sentence that included a sentence of life in prison without the chance of release. In spite of the fact that the verdict provided Kelsey's family with a sense of justice, it was not able to alleviate the agony that they experienced as a consequence of the death of their loved one. The predicament that Kelsey Berreth is currently going through is a horrific illustration of the hazards that are involved with domestic abuse and the potential for tragic repercussions that can be brought about by interpersonal relationships that are toxic. This serves as an illustration of the likelihood that situations similar to this one could occur. Furthermore, it underlines the crucial necessity of detecting the indicators of abuse, as well as the requirement of maintaining awareness and providing assistance to individuals who are in situations that are considered to be harmful. In addition, it highlights the significance of being able to identify the signs that indicate sexual abuse. The story of Kelsey continues to serve as a cautionary tale about the terrible things that can take place behind closed doors, as well as the long-lasting impact that such catastrophes can have on families and communities. A sobering reminder of the unseen tragedies that can occur behind closed doors. This event is a sobering reminder. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.